She wrote a book called Kid Stress?
Kid Stress.
What stress does a kid have? What stress does a little effer have?
Well, it's pretty stressful. Peer pressure and trying to get laid.
Yeah.
It was pretty stressful.
No, come on.
It really was.
Compared to what we deal with now? Not us. I mean, our lives are pretty good, but before we got to this point, it was a little rough.
It's all relative. As a kid, you don't have... I don't think your mind has as big a space in it for stress, so the little things freak you out. Once you get older, you get all jaded and you don't give a crap.
Yeah.
But as a kid, there was a lot of stress walking around trying to cover up my goddamn cystic acne with my funny jokes and not getting laid.
What the hell is cystic acne?
Oh, it was horrible. Big friggin' nodules. Constantly walking around looking like I was beat up. It's terrible. And they didn't have Accutane back then.
Did you bring in those pictures?
So I went to some stupid doctor and old Doc Esslinger back in San Juan Capistrano. He goes, you know what I think you ought to try? X-ray therapy. X-ray therapy.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. I didn't do it.
I wouldn't.
I'm not going to X-ray my head.
That's crazy.
Great. I'll trade the acne for tumors.
Were you one of those
dummy?
You already had the tumors.
You were one of those kids that had it all over?
Oh, my God. It was a wreck. It was a wreck. I hated it.
I had the basic pizza face for my senior photo.
No,
I found those recently. I'll bring those in.
Had regular
basic. That's
regular
what I'm saying. Pizza face. Yeah.
Mine were ridiculous, like the size of your friggin' fist.
That big?
Oh, they were terrible. One day I was in the mall and someone went, "Wow, what did the other guy look like?" Thought I was in a fight. I'm like, "Thanks."
That won't.
I found a lot of money as a kid because I used to have my head down all the time, so I'd find like dollar bills that people dropped on the floor. There was a plus to my zero self-esteem.
They were really that big?
Oh, dude, it was terrible.
As big as a fist, really?
Not a fist, but
how big for real?
For real, the size of this Gatorade cap would be one like on my cheek, and then another one like.
Couldn't you pop that out?
And I had nicknames for them. Like if it was on my jowl, I had a couple there. I'd call it who was that singer? Oh, God damn it! Now I can't remember his name. Lawrence, Vicki Lawrence, and Edie Gourmet and Steve Lawrence. Steve Lawrence. I'd call it the Steve Lawrence because he had the big jowls. Then if I got one on my chin, it was the Dudley Do-Right because they looked like Dudley Do-Right. Then I had the Cyrano if you got one on your nose. And then the Frankenstein was one on the brow line. And then like your cheeks would puff out. It was awful.
What is that genetic, or is that food, or is that?
It's genetic. It's just a genetic friggin' mess that I had to deal with. And then the best thing was it was mostly out in California. It was horrible out in California. And who was I hanging out with in California? Who was my bestest friend ever? Richard.
Richard, yeah.
And there's a son of a bitch that was gay as the day is long. And every girl was just after this kid because he was gorgeous, and here's his best friend.
They'd rather go out with a gay guy than you. That's
God.
We wonder why your self-esteem blows.
Oh my God, Rocky Dennis, his friend.
You should have let him slobber on it. That would have been your vengeance over them. Like, yeah, I know you guys want him. Watch this. Zip, and then Richard.
Like a bird trying to pull a worm out of the ground.
Oh, it was horrible. I used to go to the doctor, and I'll tell you something. The doctors knew nothing at the time.
Yeah.
Like now, you take some Accutane, and that crap goes away. Yeah, I tell you, if you're a kid and you're having problems with acne, do anything you have to do to get Accutane before you get any scarring.
Isn't that expensive, though?
Yeah, whatever. Rob somebody. Whatever
it takes.
Can I tell you?
To get the clear
have your
face.
parents friggin' pay for it.
Yeah.
But they didn't know. So they'd like put you on tetracycline, some kind of antibiotic, just to try to, because it was an infection, just to try to get rid of it. Yeah, that's great.
That's how you looked?
Oh, worse.
Really?
Worse. It was horrible.
I'm looking at a photo of the guy's lower part of his face.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And it looks almost like a little bit like burn scarring, like not burn scarring, but like
bubbling.
Yeah, the
volcanoes.
Bubbling.
It looks like the surface of a volcanic planet. And then they'd put liquid nitrogen on it to like freeze it.
Wow.
It was just a horror show.
So you were tortured by that?
Oh, tortured. all the way up until, and then I figured, it's a kid thing. It'll go away at some point. I'm in my 30s, and I was still dealing with it until I finally went on Acutane. And then, they just went away.
Wow.
And they don't come back after that.
Was Acutane, when did that come around? How old were you?
He was at NEW, right?
Yeah. I was at NEW when I started taking Acutane.
10 years ago, maybe a little
10 years ago.
A little less.
They'd had it before then, but I didn't get on it. But yeah, it took care of it. One sitting. It takes like 6 months or something that you take these things. It's weird, the warning labels on it, they show like if a pregnant woman looks at this pill, the kid will come out with 3 heads.
Really?
Yeah,
it's a bad one, huh?
Toxic stuff. And then you got to check your liver because your cholesterol goes through the roof when you're taking this stuff.
What do you mean one sitting? You had to go to a doctor and
No, well, like one sitting, one session. Because sometimes it comes back. Sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it don't go away. And then you have to go on another 6 months or 3 months. Yeah, that is an exact replica of something I would get on my face.
Cystic acne.
And let me tell you something. When you jab a pin in that thing and then squeeze it,
nice.
You could fill up a pudding cup.
A shot glass.
A little vanilla pudding cup.
With cystic acne juice.
It was disgusting.
Would you do a shot of cystic acne juice?
God.
Would you?
No.
Would you?
It would spray on the mirror.
Really? One of those?
Would girls say things to you that were like hurtful or make...
I wasn't even close enough to girls for them to say anything odd. I would steer clear of girls. The only girl was, Buzz. And the girls down at the stables, they didn't care.
So when you lost your virginity to Buzz, you had this going on your face?
Yeah, I guess at some point. It wasn't as bad. It got worse after a while, and then it would get better. It would clear up, and then it would get worse. Like, it went in phases.
Right.
So, like, for not even a month, I would say for maybe 3 weeks, it would be all right. And then it would come back, and for a month and a half, it was just a wreck. And then it would mellow out a little bit. But always just red and irritated.
How old were you when that started?
Oh, God, probably 12.
See, can I theorize something? Because Anthony's so brilliant. It's that scientific mind, that guy who was going to be a scientist and build rocket ships, that when you turn 12, that horror of being like physically not being good looking to girls turned into you being funny. You probably wouldn't have gone into being so brilliantly funny if not like that defense to make chicks laugh.
It was absolutely the way to just like get people laughing. So, take away from the horror.
They would forget about what's going on your face.
Look at
Explains
this.
a lot.